Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, just south of Columbus, which that's the home of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, do me a favor, if you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button, smash that thumbs up. We had a great show yesterday, over 200-something views on YouTube. I think it's almost 300 now, like 600 on Facebook. That is awesome. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And I know, we want to get into Bengals talk. I will get into Bengals talk, I promise. But I want to get into some Blue Jackets talk, try to get some little different conversation going today, at least to start out with, because today the Bengals haven't done anything yet. So, but hopefully they will. So, like I said, we are up to 864 subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you. Now the Blue Jackets. They're coming off back-to-backs this past weekend. They won one. They lost one. They play – who do they play? Dallas, I think. Anyway, I thought I wrote that down, but I didn't. But let me bring in my special guest. It's Kevin. What's going on, Kevin? How you doing?
Hello, Jeff. I'm doing very good. Thank you for having me on.
No problem. Now, Kevin is the head admin on the Facebook group Union Soldiers, which I do post a lot of stuff on there. So how did you get started on your Blue Jacket fandom and starting your group and all that stuff?
So the story behind that is that March of 2009, I went to Cincinnati and Columbus for spring break, and that's something I normally wouldn't have done because my grandma and grandpa have a timeshare down in Florida that they got in the 80s, and they've had it since then. And every year we go down there. But
right.
My mom, who was a teacher at the time, her spring break schedule, it didn't work out with the 1 week that my grandma and grandpa had. And my dad still wanted to do something for spring break. So that year we went down to Cincinnati and did some of our favorite stuff there, the Reds, and we saw the Great American Ballpark, Paul Brown Stadium, Skyline Chili, and all of our favorite Cincinnati stuff. And then we went up to Columbus and we saw a Blue Jackets game, and they won 5-0. And since that point in time, I've been a Blue Jackets fan. Now the answer
to your love ever since, huh?
Yep. Love the Blue Jackets. They are my number one team.
Now you're also a Reds and Bengals fan too, as we were talking about before. And and the funny thing is, I think is you don't live in Ohio, you don't live in Florida, you actually live in Illinois, right?
Yeah. So before I get to that, I'll answer your second question. So the story, as you see the flag right there, Union Blue Soldiers.
Right.
The story behind that is that I was very much involved of a Blue Jackets supporter style fan group called Arch City Army. They were a really fun group. I had a really fun time with it. I was heavily involved with it. Made lots of good friends that are still friends today because of them. But unfortunately, they're no longer in existence. They made one too many mistakes and they burned some bridges and they just weren't able to recover from it. And now they're gone, and that just makes me very sad that happened.
Right.
So in 2014, I started my own group, Union Blue Soldiers, right there, because I wanted to have all the fun times that I had with Arch City Army and try and incorporate that into Union Blue Soldiers. And since that point, it's become pretty big. We're almost at 5,000 members on our Facebook group page. We've been featured in the Columbus Dispatch multiple times. We've been featured on 97.1 The Fan. We were featured on ABC6 News because we have our big march. We march from our bar to Nationwide Arena. We get big groups of people doing chants of CBJ, Let's Go Jackets. Really fun time. And since that point, that's what Union Blue Soldiers is. It's about cheering on the Blue Jackets, supporting them, and just having a big group of people and all the fun times I've had, and trying to keep that going, because in my opinion, every sports team should have that type of fan group.
Right.
For everyone to come together and cheer them on, because, listen, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, regardless, from news to weather to politics to sports and family and friends and just life in general. And sometimes, people just want to get away from that. And
right, exactly. Yeah.
Something to distract them. And that's the goal one of the goals I have for Union Blue Soldiers is to give people a place for that. Now,
that's what I try to do in my podcast here.
Now, the answer to your other question is, how does a guy that lives in Illinois like basically Ohio stuff?
Right.
As you see, I got my Blue Jackets hat, and I'll show it to you so you can. I don't know if you can see that, but I got the red shirt and
Yep.
Crew pants, shorts.
There you go.
So the story behind that is I have family history in the state of Ohio. My dad's uncle went to school at Ohio State. We have a relative who's buried in Miamisburg. We have family who live by Cleveland out in Westlake, Ohio.
Right.
We have my first ever baseball game I remember going to when I was like 4, maybe 5, involved the Reds. It was a spring training game. Yes, I know. Go Reds.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, so I liked Ohio State, and I liked the Reds, and then, I liked the Bengals, and then I took it a step further, and I liked the Blue Jackets, and then my grandpa told me through our family history that we had a relative who fought for the North during the Civil War, and he was from Ohio, and he was a corporal. And he got pretty high up there in the rankings during the Civil War for the Union Army. So you throw all those things together, and that's why even though I live in Illinois, that's why I like things that are basically all Ohio related.
Right, exactly. That's a really cool story, especially since you have a relative that was actually in the he was a Union soldier. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was. And my grandpa, so he told me the story about it, is that he found out through our family records, and then I guess a couple years back, at least 10, 20 years ago, the state of Ohio had some of the old documents regarding to people who were in the Civil War, and I guess they didn't want it for some reason, so they were getting rid of it. So then my grandpa heard about that, and basically he contacted the state government of Ohio and said, told him the story, and he said, hey, don't shred this. This is family history. I want this. Right. And they said, okay. So then obviously there were legal hoops and other stuff he had to jump through to get it, but he did it. Right. And then it sent him to his house. And then a couple months back, he gave some of the Civil War records to me to look at.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff he was doing, he was fighting battles down in Tennessee.
Okay.
So that area of the Civil War, he was, again, we don't know this for sure. This is just me guessing. But if you were down, generally speaking, if you were for the North and you were fighting down in Tennessee, there's a good chance you were probably fighting for Ulysses S. Grant, because that's where Grant did a lot of the battles. He was doing it in Tennessee, Mississippi, parts, I think Georgia, like that area of the South before he eventually took it all over. But and Union Blues, and so my relative who fought for the North, that plays another role into why Union Blue Soldiers is called Union Blue Soldiers, because the Blue Jackets, they're named after the soldiers who fought for the North during the Civil War.
Right.
Union Blue is the main color they wear. soldiers. That's what they're named after. But in my opinion, I don't know if you've gotten this, but when I've worn Blue Jacket stuff, they go, "Is that Captain America? Is that the New England Patriots?" And it's like, no, that's two different things.
It's the Blue Jackets, man. Come on.
Yeah, Blue Jackets. So soldiers who fought for the North during the Civil War. And so my idea to help combat that is to start using the Blue Jacket Civil War theme, as in the soldiers, the generals, whether that be pictures of Ulysses S. Grant, William Tecumseh Sherman, both of them who were awesome generals from Ohio, by the way, and trying to put that out there, and the cannon, so that people understand that Blue Jackets is soldiers who fought for the North during the Civil War. And you look at the logo, it's a soldier, Union Army soldier. He has a hockey stick. He's the state flag of Ohio. It's little things like that to try and get people to understand that the Blue Jackets are soldiers who fought for the North during the Civil War, are not the New England Patriots or Captain America.
Right. All right, let's get into the Blue Jackets, how their season is going right now. They are 11, 12, and 1, or excuse me, 11, 12, and 7 on the season. John Tortorella, is he on the hot seat, or are they going to keep him, or what do you think is going to happen with Torts?
I don't see them letting him go. There's a couple reasons for that, because the issue with the Blue Jackets is that there's just inconsistency. Sometimes they're playing and they don't look very good, and then sometimes they play some games and they win some games and they look really good and go, wow, they looked awesome. That was a great game. See if they can keep it going. And unfortunately, they just haven't been able to do that. And and it's not like that, they're just flat out terrible, just god awful, or they're not winning any games and they're not playing good. They've shown that they can do it in the past, not just this season. So I don't think a new coach is going to change that. Also, at least in my opinion, I think this has something to do with it, is that unfortunately, one of the negative side effects of coronavirus is that regardless of your economic situation, people aren't doing as well, and you're not getting as much money as you normally would have. And that applies to sports teams as well. Is that, okay, recent games are getting the fans in there, and that's certainly helping them. But from a team standpoint, if you fire Tortorella, that means you have to pay. He has 1 year on the contract, but you still have to pay him that money. And from a team standpoint, that sports teams are not doing as well as they would be because of coronavirus. You're already losing money. Do you want to lose even more money by paying him that money if you fire him? In my opinion, I'm going to no. And also, I don't, in a shortened season, I don't think a new voice is going to really do anything. And
and the thing is, I mean, he's led them to the playoffs 4 years in a row. Is that right?
4. It's never happened. It's never happened until Tortorella.
Right.
And another thing is, there's rumors going around that this is probably his last season, and it would. And there's been other thoughts and theories thrown out there, is that before John Tortorella, the Blue Jackets were blah. They were blah. They only had 2 playoff appearances and 2 wins in the playoffs. That was it. That was basically the far as extent of they've had. That was it. Along comes John Tortorella, and okay, so he comes in during the middle of his first season where they're not doing so good and they don't make the playoffs, but that's not really his fault, because he came in the middle of the season and it was just got to the point to where unfortunately it just wasn't going to happen. So they just had to get through the season and do what they can to try and win some games and build for the future. And they did that. The next season, 2016-2017, they get 108 points, 16-game winning streak. They make the playoffs. 16-game winning streak, that's the most in Never Blue Jackets history. 108 points, that's the most in Blue Jackets history. And they have a 50-win season. That's the most in Blue Jackets history. They make the playoffs. Unfortunately, they run into the buzzsaw that was the Pittsburgh Penguins that year.
Yes, I remember that. Yep.
But you know what? But from a Blue Jacket standpoint, that was pretty good. The next season, they have next season they have a good season, make the playoffs again. Following year, they get their first ever playoff series win. They beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. They swept them.
Yep.
And they, you know what? They got knocked out by Boston, but they played a hard-fought six-game series, and there's moments in that series where, you know what, it could have gone either way, but you know what? They were just beaten by the more veteran team.
Right.
This past season, everyone is trash talking the Blue Jackets. Oh, they lost Sergei Bobrovsky. Oh, they lost Matt Duchene. Oh, they lost Artemi Panarin. Oh, they're not going to be very good. Blah, 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 blah. Well, no, because if you were paying attention to the Blue Jackets, there's reason to believe that, yes, it sucks that you don't have those players, but there's reason to believe that they still can be good. And they proved the people wrong because what they do. They had another good season. They made the playoffs. They beat Toronto in the playoffs. And so they get knocked out by Tampa Bay, but that was probably the tightest 5-game series I've ever seen because a couple overtime games. And when you break down the stats, the goal differential is Tampa Bay 14 and the Blue Jackets 12. So if the Blue Jackets score a goal here and there, that's probably a different series. But unfortunately, it didn't happen that way, and they get knocked out.
Right.
And so before John Tortorella, as I've just outlined, they were just blah. None of this stuff has ever happened. Now, obviously, just winning, having some success, and just winning a round in the playoffs, that's not the ultimate goal. You want the Stanley Cup, and the Blue Jackets, they're building towards that. But
so what do you think their chances are this year? Are they close to making the playoffs, or I don't even know where their standings are right now, to be honest.
They're currently still. So here's the thing. This is amazing. And this is a detriment to how they've just been able to just kind of hang in there. And their division they're in is kind of tight division. Is that they're only about 4 points out. So it's not out of the question. And time is on their side because the season ends in May and it's March. So they still got time, but they have to do it pretty quick because if they don't, then it's not to say that you can't do it, but it gets harder and harder and harder for you to do that.
Right.
And so,
good. Sorry.
And so if Tortorella goes, it's probably going to be at the end of the season because it would be, at least there's some theories going around that it would be seen as disrespectful to Torts to just fire him now for after what he's done.
He's been the best coach in Blue Jackets history. So, I mean, it's hard to get rid of him. But on that note, I appreciate you coming on, Kevin. And don't be a stranger. We get closer to playoff time. If the Blue Jackets are in or whatever, or if they're getting close to the playoffs, maybe you can jump back on again and we can get some more Blue Jackets talking. And you educated me because I follow them, but I don't follow them as much as you do. So that's why I like having people on here that know their stuff and know what they're talking about. So, again, I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
And definitely let's do it again, all right?
Absolutely.
All right, brother. You have a good day. Thank you.
That's right. Go Blue Jackets, go Reds, go Bengals, Ohio State, and everything else.
Exactly. There you go. Thank you, buddy. And there's Jeremy D. What's up, brother? You might want to unmute your mic. That would help. Yeah, unmute it.
It's unmuted now, but
okay, I still can't hear you.
I know.
This is what Jeremy knows about hockey, which is nothing.
That's what I was going to say. Talking about all with the Blue Jackets, and then you also have with the Blue Jackets, and I'm looking forward to it.
What's that? The hockey season or the Blue Jackets, or what were you saying?
Oh, the Blue Jackets, those players, those
guys.
Guys. Yeah.
No,
not to joke around. That was really
he knows his stuff, man. He was on it. He knew what he's talking about. So if you want to know information on Blue Jackets, I'm gonna I'm gonna message Kevin for now and say, hey, what's going on?
Yeah. It was kind of, he's dead on, and he's not even from Ohio, so that's pretty amazing.
Right. All right, let's get into. Everybody's dying to get into the Bengals talk.
Let's go.
What's going on? Let's go. So Titus says y'all think they're going to sign an offensive lineman. I don't know.
I hope to God.
I hope they do. I'm not sure. It's not looking like it, but I mean, there is. Now, I had this. Let me bring this up here. That if you guys believe Mike Florio, that he says there's a chance, but I mean, half the time he gets a lot of stuff wrong. Where is it at? Let me find it on my computer. Oops. I'm scrolling too fast. Where'd it go? Go back. Come on. And there. He's saying that the Raiders, now this is actually NFL trade rumors, but also Florio said this too. I just got this for a tweet, but Florio did report this, that the Raiders are looking to trade Gabe Jackson, Bengals in one report. Now, the other report I had is they also might be adding Gio in that trade.
Hey.
Where is it? I had that written down. Where did that go? Here it is.
Gino or Gio?
Gio, sorry, Gio. This
Gio?
is per Mark Florio.
You're right. Go ahead.
He thinks the Bengals are a team that the Raiders could be talking to about Gabe Jackson and could be a later round pick and Gio for Jackson. Now, I've said this before on, different guys we might cut or release. If you trade Gio, it does two things. One, it gets his number off the books, gives us even more cap room. Two, this trade will give us a guard that we need and we all want. So, and like Tommy says here, the Raiders are looking for a running back. I'll pop that up there. So, and I'd hate to see Gio go. Trust me, I would hate to see him go. I'm not looking to get rid of Gio. The fact of the matter is, we need a guard badly, And the thing is, still the draft. And I've said this. We've said this for months now about the draft and about free agency. What they do in the draft is going to be dictated by what they do in free agency. Now, we all said, and we've said it a million times on here, what we wanted them to do was solidify the offensive line through free agency and then go fix everything else through the draft. Does look like the Bengals are going to do that. I mean, they're still, like I said, it's not over yet. They still could go get some people. Now, the thing that trips me out, and we were talking about this in our group chat, that Hudson for the Raiders, he got traded. Didn't he get released yesterday?
Yeah, hey, that's what all the reports were. And then now all of a sudden he goes from release to being traded. That must be nice. I don't. We could have used that kind of juju, if that's the way you want to put it.
Yeah. So what would you? Matt says, what would you react to Juju being a Bengal? I would. Honestly, as long as he doesn't do stupid ass TikToks and he plays good, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, we do stupid ass TikToks, but we don't make $10 million a year.
Awesome TikToks, Jeremy. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, and they don't even pay us. So
they are legendary.
I can't argue. But you know what? I can see a lot of Bengal fans. Check it out. I've had them blowing up my phone for the past 2 days. I'm hearing this. And I mentioned it to you earlier, Jeff. I think I mentioned it to a couple guys, Tommy, Jeff, or Tommy, Josh. My bad, Josh. I didn't mean to call you Jeff. Trust me. God Almighty.
That dude's weird. I would have compared Josh to Jeff to anybody.
Exactly, right? But, everybody's going, well, we can go to last year's draft or free agency. We took 2 cornerbacks, and we took a defensive lineman.
Yep.
This year, we've took 2 cornerbacks to replace one of the cornerbacks we brought in.
Yep.
And we added a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Like
I said, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just saying, I can feel the Bengals' pain out there. Trust me, it hurts me a little bit too. I was thinking by now we would at least put some – the Thuney number, I'll give the Bengals that. And I'm not here to call Mike Brown cheap. I always stand up for him. I still will. but we're not paying him $80 million. We're not, we're not paying Trent Williams. God,
$138 million what he got.
Yeah, 136 years. I mean, we can't do that.
Is, like me and Josh were talking earlier today because he did a little live show on Who Day Nation.
Right.
If we sign Trent Williams to that, there goes our money. Like we wouldn't be able to sign anybody else. That's where it comes back to they have to be smart. Now Titus says, what about the tight end for Philadelphia Eagles? Do you think the Bengals are going to talk about getting him? He's a tight end. I think he's talking about Ertz, right? Didn't he?
Yep.
I think he got signed by somebody.
I do too, and I don't see us spending a bunch of money on a tight end when we have Uzama. And we have Sample, who we drafted pretty damn high, and Uzama was one of those diamonds in the rough, and I don't see how you can spend extra money on a tight end when there are still guards out there that can be signed, and we do have the money to sign them. And
the thing is, everybody keeps forgetting about this guy. Kyle Rudolph is still out there. I know he's older and everything. He's a Cincinnati kid. He played at Elder. And I said this when he got a lot less money. I said this when he got released. He might be more of a June 1st, signee or somewhere around there. If everybody wants to get a third, which I do think we have to get at least stack talent, another tight end. We only got two.
Yeah,
so we do have to add to it. Yeah. I'd say go for Rudolph. I mean, that's my opinion, but I'm just an idiot with a YouTube show.
Just personally, and I'm just the number 2 guy on his YouTube show. So, which means my opinion means like, you know what I'm saying? This is the way I look at it. I would rather spend my money and get at least that one lineman we all had prayed for. I don't care who it is. Somebody that is better than, because here's where we are right now as a Cincinnati Bengal offensive line. We are at Jonah Williams, who has not played 2 full years. He missed his first year, and then he only played 8 games last year.
No, he played more than that. I think he only missed like 10. He played at least 10. I thought he only missed like the last 4, to be honest, but I don't remember, to be honest.
It could be, you could be right, but still hasn't played, a full season. Mm-hmm. Had some bumps in the road. It's going to happen. But then we got these rumors coming out. Maybe they'll kick him into guard, which you don't draft a guard as high as we did Jonah. I think he's going to be just fine at tackle. But here we are sitting in free agency. We've signed 3 defensive guys like we did last year. And our right tackle is Bobby Hart.
Fun
freaking Bobby Hart. Okay. And beside him, you've got Fred Johnson. In the middle right now, you have Billy Price because Hopkins isn't back yet. We've got the same line as last year. And I'm only saying this, Jeff, just to let you know, I'm not. This isn't me bashing on the Bengals at all.
No, it's fact. You're speaking facts. That's right now, legitimately, that's what we have. But I mean, you forget we also have Seraphia too.
We do, and that's a good. So, that makes me happy. And Spain makes me happy.
No, Spain's a free agent. I think they're going to sign him.
I do. Yeah, well, I think that should be a guarantee where we're at right now.
Yeah, I think that would be. But I mean, he might be low on the list because I mean, there's other bigger fish out there to get, and hopefully they don't let him go, regardless of who they get at guard. I like to bring Spain back, like I said, stacking of talent, competition, stuff like that. But yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
Yeah, and to me, one guy, Sewell from the draft. Everybody was on a lot of the picks that we've taken, but one guy, even if he comes to his full potential. Well, we've got the left tackle lockdown, right tackle lockdown, but it's the guys inside that we have not done anything about right now. And that's what scares me. And that's also using our number 1 pick and thinking he's going to be a guaranteed knockout tackle. And we don't know that. And that's why we all want
it. Yeah. That's the scary part. I mean, I said this, I don't know, earlier today with Josh, I said on yesterday's show, I don't remember. If we are counting on 2 rookies to start. It's not ideal. I mean, that's not what we wanted, but to me, it looks like that's the plan. And the thing that Bengals fans used to always complain about is the Bengals don't have a plan. You can't see what they're trying to do. I can see what they're trying to do. I don't necessarily like it. I wish they'd go a different direction, but
there you go. Yeah.
We've all complained how many years have we said there's no plan, there's no direction for this. We're just willy-nilly, trying to grab guys. Last 2 years of free agency, they've had a plan. Now it looks like the exact same plan.
It does.
I mean, quarterbacks and a defensive lineman. But again, my point is they did this sooner this year than they did last year, and they still have a lot more money this year than they did last year to do more things. So hopefully that happens. And look, if they get Sewell and they get Wyatt Davis in the second round or guard like somebody else in the second round, they still could be fine because one thing about offensive line, to me, it's the easiest position to transition into. Now, I know the Bengals have had multiple busts. I understand that. But it is one of the easiest positions to transition from college to the NFL in because it's really not a whole lot different. I mean, the guys are bigger, faster, stronger, but if these guys are the elite guys, they're going to be able to keep up with them. You don't have to really learn a whole bunch of different route runnings and, a whole bunch of different play. I mean, it's pass blocking or it's run blocking. There are different things, but it's not a whole lot. The blocking schemes aren't a whole lot different from college to the NFL. So that's where it makes you feel a little better that I think we could be okay if we had 2 rookies in our offensive line, but we'll see.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. Because for me, I remember after he got hurt, everybody was, that's enough is enough. Go spend money on the line, and then we do what we did last year. But hey, you never know, baby.
Now, Jen's got a good point. She brought this up when I was on with Josh earlier today. I tried all day telling people you can't forget we have Frank Pollock, our offensive line coach. This man is personally going to the pro days to find great draft picks to protect Joe freaking Burrow. I added that part, Jen. He said his number one priority is to protect Joe freaking Burrow. I believe him. I think Frank is the plan. I can't argue with that. I can't say it any better than what you just said right there. I mean, I like Frank Pollock. I thought they should have never let him go in the first place. I do think when a guy like Joe Mixon is fired up as he was to get Frank Pollock back, that's got to tell you something right there.
Yeah, and in a way though, I kind of get the feeling like Mixon was stoked about Pollock because he knows how he runs the line. They've got they'll have a little continuity there. I think he probably thought in the back of his mind, to be honest, that with us bringing back Frank Pollock, another old Bengals coach, who was never really a horrible coach. No. But he was probably, in my mind, thinking that since that happened, we would definitely probably go hard on free agency to get some offensive linemen.
Well, I would think that Pollock would also be in on the plan. I would think these coaches are all right. They're all getting a room. This is the way it should be anyway. They're all getting a room and okay, we're going to do this. This is probably going to be a plan, and they all kind of saw it. So because that way they know, like if Pollock should go check out the draftee guys, or he should really go check out the free agent guys. Like Jen said, if he's going to the draft guys again. That tells me they're going to try to take care of it mostly in the draft, which if you get Sewell, which there's a very good chance we can get him, and you get Wyatt Davis, our line is fixed, I think. I really do. And I said this back in, I don't know, not September, but December or whatever. That's what old Cowhead said. Anthony Long, I get the O-line situation, but do you get someone like Galladay or Fuller if they are cheaper and sign an O-lineman? What do you think there, Jeremy?
You know what? I think both of those would be great additions, but then you added and then add an extra lineman. And I think literally right now we would just like to have one solid lineman. So when you start talking about throwing money at a receiver and that kind of thing. Maybe they will. Like Jeff said, it looks like they're banking on the draft and the players in the draft being great players.
Right, because the thing is, you have to look at the draft. I said this yesterday. What's the draft have? It has a ton of offensive linemen. It has a ton of wide receivers. That's what it has. I mean, there are defensive players, but they're not that many. I mean, you got to really get lucky that the guy you slotted is there, But not that you can hit or miss on offensive linemen. To me, if you want to get a tackle, and I am not that I'm not sold on Sewell. Everything I've heard, everything I read, he's the man. He's great. Yada yada yada. We'll see what happens when it's on paper. The thing is, though, for me, if they just get a guard or some of these other kind of players for the offensive line, you've got to draft Sewell, and you better be damn sure that he's there, because I'm not so sure that he's going. I mean, that's what I keep saying. If he's not there, then we got to take Slater. So, and I don't like that because they both got short arms. But for some reason, I think the Bengals are pretty sure that Sewell's going to be there. Now, I've said this: if he gets of the teams that worry me, is if he gets past Atlanta and he gets past Miami, I think we're good, because I don't think the rest of them are really going to take him. But that's the thing. So that's another thing. If the Bengals are doing their homework and stuff, they must know something that they're not really addressing the tackle position, that they are pretty optimistic they can get sold.
You know what? That's perfectly said, because that's the only thing I can honestly even think of, because, if we're sitting there at 5, Sewell's gone, we've done nothing to the offensive line. We can't stand there with our stick in our hand. You know what I mean? Like,
right, exactly.
We made a serious mistake.
Real quick, just to answer Anthony's comment down here. He says we're about the Jets. Well, there's rumors, and this is me and Josh talk about this, that the Texans signed what was the quarterback they just signed, oh my goodness, they just signed him for $12 million. He played for the Chargers last year. He was a starting QB for them. We talked about getting for a backup quarterback. What the hell is his name? Come on, Jeremy, help me with this.
Tyrod Taylor.
Thank you, Tyrod Taylor. They just signed Tyrod Taylor to a $12 million contract. Wow. You're not going to pay a quarterback, I don't think, $12 million if you're not planning on starting them. So I think there's a very good chance that the Houston Texans are going to trade Deshaun Watson to the Jets. If they do that, then and Houston takes that pick, Houston's going to go draft themselves a quarterback. Yeah. So I don't think that the Jets are sold on Darnold. I don't care what they keep saying, but I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to take a quarterback because it's New York. They want a splashy pick. I'm like, all right. And they got to compete with the Giants. And I think that's the more popular team in New York. They got to get front page headlines. I think drafting Fields or any of these other top quarterbacks is going to get that for them. And plus, it gets them to the point where everybody NFL team wants to get. And I keep repeating this over and over and over again. What the Bengals have, you have that rookie quarterback on that rookie contract. You can build around them. It's a lot harder when you have a veteran guy and you haven't won anything yet.
That's true. And my thing is, as a Bengal fan, I can see us, even with Sewell not there, staying at 5 and taking Slater. I hate to think that, but
I wouldn't be surprised.
But I wouldn't be surprised either. And that's kind of why I wanted to just bring it up and get everybody.
Right. Well, the problem because the problem with the reason that this happened because they're kind of backing themselves in the corner. They don't have a tackle. They know they need one, and there's 2 there. At 5, you can get one of them. You're going to get Sewell or you're going to get Slater.
Yep.
I'm 99% sure they'll get one of them. Now, I think, excuse me, if you get Sewell or Slater at 5, it's a reach, and I don't like that. Mm-hmm. But that's what they're doing. So I don't agree with it. I wish they would do something. So that's why we said this. I would rather them fix it through free agency, and then you don't have to make you have options. And they're backing themselves into the corner where they don't have any options as of right now. We'll see what happens. I mean, the draft's still 2 months away. It's not till April 29th.
Still got a lot of free agency left too.
Yeah,
a
and
lot
just
of
because
free agency.
the 4 o'clock deadline passed doesn't mean free agency is over.
No,
I mean,
no.
that really doesn't mean anything, to be honest. It just means they can announce stuff. Or
That's right.
actually make it official, I should say.
That's right.
Get Low's on here. What's up, Get Low?
Get low.
Get low, get low, get low, get low, get low. Oh, sorry. Hey, guys, do you think they are planning to win Super Bowls this year? Well, this year, yeah, I hope so. If not, is it worth signing an expensive lineman when you could wait and develop your draft picks? Well, it's not even that's the thing. Okay, we are not a one offensive lineman away from winning. Okay, I understand what you're saying now, Gillo. Yes, we are not one offensive lineman away from winning a Super Bowl. That's what the Kansas City Chiefs are. That's why they spent $80 million on Tooney. We are more than that. We need 2 offensive linemen. We need a deep threat. We need, another edge rusher. We still need more stuff. So no, I think we're building toward a Super Bowl. And if we did the right stuff, yeah, I mean, things could happen. You never know. That's why you play the season to see what happens. But no, I understand your point that I do think it's smarter. But my concern is that they're backing themselves in the corner, and you got to get one of the two. If Slater had longer arms, which is so stupid that we're talking about arm length, but if he did, they'd be 1 and 1A. It wouldn't matter because everything else Slater is off the charts on, just like Sewell is. The only problem with Slater is he's got freaking short arms. They need to go somewhere and stretch his arms out. Try to get him longer.
And the thing about Slater, he played a couple great games against Chase Young. Chase Young tore the NFL up as a rookie this year, and he played a couple hell of a games against him. But like you said, when you go into a draft already knowing who you take because of need, you're almost reaching if you're taking the second best player available at that spot.
Right.
So hopefully we'll move back, get Slater, whatever. Hopefully we'll sign a damn lineman at some point here. But if we don't,
dude, honestly, I hope they do just so you will shut the hell up about it and stop blowing my freaking phone up.
Hey, I can play the tape back to when Burrow got hurt, pal. You want me to play the tape?
It was your fault. You guaranteed a win. I keep telling you it's your fault.
You talked about the sucky offensive line for 3 months. I couldn't go to sleep having nightmares about it.
You're the one that needed Fun Bag Bobby. There. Oh, my goodness. All right, so the Arizona Cardinals signed a guy today. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Guy
that we know, right?
Yeah, some guy named AJ Green.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we might have heard him. He signed a 1-year deal worth $6 million, worth $8 million.
Yep.
And $6 million of it is guaranteed per Adam Schefter on ESPN. And then something just came out earlier that Fitzgerald might be retiring, which would be kind of surprising because, I don't know why he would. I mean, the man's been playing for, 16, 17 years. He can retire, but
forever.
Yeah, they're getting to the point where they are getting talent. They're getting in him and AJ. I would be surprised if he wanted to retire with a chance of playing with AJ on the same field. That would be just kind of shocking to me.
Yeah, and two older guys, one future Hall of Famer, one maybe not after some injuries and that kind of thing. That's about the only thing that would hold AJ back. But yeah, I would have thought so for sure. And then we also got another guy, WJ3.
Yep.
He's gone,
Which, like I said, that one doesn't hurt as much because of the guys we signed. So
true.
I mean,
he'll help.
So, the thing is, like you said, to be honest, I hate to say this, but we're kind of right in the exact same spot we were before free agency started, but we just don't have our guys. We have somebody else's guys, but we also added Uzi. How do you say his name?
Yep. Owuzie. Yep.
Owuzie. All right. Crown has asked me this twice. Crown, no, I have no freaking clue what's going on in Clifton. Trust me. We've had 5, maybe 6 guys now go into the transfer portal. He's talking about the Bearcats, Jeremy.
Okay.
Yeah, that look at Clifton. What? That's where the Bearcats play.
Okay.
So honestly, I don't know what's going on. I'm just waiting back to see what happens. I don't know. I don't know why all these guys are leaving. I have no idea. Nothing's coming out as why it's happening. So no clue, buddy. And I there's nothing really to talk about other than they're all leaving and we have nobody coming in right now. So we'll see what happens.
And didn't most of them come back to play in the tournament? And then they got
all these freshmen came back and played great, and we made it all the way to the championship game. But like, we're gonna opt out.
We didn't win. We're out. Screw it.
Yeah.
No NCAA. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem with this transfer portal. It's so easy to transfer right now. They don't even have to sit out. They can transfer and play right away next year.
Yep. Just like Terry was saying, man, it's gotten out of hand.
Mm-hmm. All right. Tommy says hats off to AJ. He's one of the best to wear the orange and black. I hope he resurrects his career in Zona. Yeah, I hope he does. The thing is, I'm glad he went there and we don't have to face him. So
yeah.
Last thing I want. But we do have the Red Rifle coming back though.
Yeah.
We play the Bears this year. So he's gonna make another appearance at PBS.
Yep, making him some good money too. Now he that's pretty much his team now. I'm guessing to lose.
Well, they pay him $10 million for 1 year. I'm like just like Tyrod. They gave him 12 for one. They gave Andy 10 for one. Yep, pretty sure you don't pay a backup quarterback that much money.
No, not unless something bad would happen. You know that he's going to be the Bears quarterback. It is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Titus, I just can't wait till AJ gets in the Ring of Honor. I can't wait till you go to Canton, till he goes to Canton. I think not me. I'm not going.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to Canton for the get the Kens. Hopefully, get the Kens in there.
Yep.
But that's June 19th. So if you guys haven't got your tickets yet or booked anything, make sure you do. And we're going to try to get Ken Riley and Ken Anderson into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, where they deserve to be. All right, Gillo, would you sign Galloway and focus on a tackle instead of getting Chase if he's available?
Would you sign Galloway and focus on tackle instead of getting Chase if he is available? What Galloway are we talking? Are we talking about the white
we're talking about Joe Galloway?
No, we.
Yeah. Oh, no, not him. Oh,
Buckeyes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry.
There's another Galloway wide receiver spelled that way, so I don't know if that's a wide receiver. Sign him, but yes, focus on tackle.
Yes.
Instead of Chase, if we don't do something in free agency, we've got to. We're like Jeff said, we are against a rock again. We've done the same thing we did last year. And now we're going to just have to put all of our hopes and dreams into Sewell or Slater or whatever the Bengals might have up their sleeve that I hope they're not telling people. And I hope we wake up tomorrow morning and we have somebody special.
Crown says the guy from the Lions. You mean Marvin Jones Jr.? Or Marvin Jones Sr.? I don't know who Galloway is. I'm drawing a blank. I'll be like,
he played for the. Yeah, he's right. He played for the Lions. He's a wide receiver.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like Anthony Cosenza. You're putting me on the spot, and I get my brain can't work to figure out who in the world you're talking about. So there's always so much room up in here. Okay, there's a lot of Bengals crap up there right now, and Bearcat stuff. The Bengals and the Bearcats are like fighting in here, and they're like, "Argh!" Welcome to my world.
Tourette.
What?
Beep, 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 beep.
All right, Titus. I really thought there was a long, heavy on the offensive line, so we have to worry about Jesus Lord Slater. What? We just go ahead and get something, either Deligment or Kyle Pitts or another wide receiver. Can you decipher that? I'm sorry.
The only thing I can think of is he thought that there was a lot of linemen in free agency, maybe, which there were, and we let them all go down the drain almost so far. We'll see. And then that way we could have gotten Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts.
All right. Did you guys just hear the tone? This is what I have to deal with all the time. Well, we just kind of – there were a lot of offensive linemen there, and we just kind of let them all go down the drain.
Well, we did.
Oh God, it's
We
not
did.
over yet.
We did.
Whatever. All right, Titus tried to retype it here. Let's see here. See if you're doing better than I can read. I thought that we were going heavy on the offensive line. Yep. So we didn't have to worry about no offensive linemen in the draft. We could, go ahead and pay for a wide receiver. Yeah, tight end. Yeah, trust me. We thought that too. But that's, what we thought, what we think and what they do obviously are two different things. So, and Tommy's saying, Rappaport is reporting the Giants are bringing Galladay in for a meeting.
Yeah, that don't hurt my feelings none. I think we're going to be all right there. I think
the thing is, wide receiver is the least of my worries because I really do think we can get a guy to open the top up in the third or fourth round. I really do. There's a lot of guys out there. I think we can get some. I'm more, especially if we don't, do something with the offensive line. I think if you don't do a thing with the offensive line, then you got to take first 2, maybe 3 picks. You got to be O lineman.
Got to. I mean, because one's a bust, the next one might not be. 2 is a bust, 1 might not be. All 3 may be great.
Well, and the thing is, hopefully, Duke hit the ball out of the ballpark last year with his draft.
Yeah,
he did. You got to give it to him. He hit the ball out of the ballpark, even with the linemen. Wilson, Davis Gaither, and who's the 6th rounder? I always forget his name.
Bailey.
And then Adeniji, you say what you will about him, but he's turned out to be, I think, a pretty good offensive lineman. I don't know if he's ever going to be a starter, but he's a good guy for a backup. Again, what I keep saying, stacking talent. So I really do think Duke is back on track again for the draft. If it's anything like it was last year, which hopefully it is.
Yeah.
Tommy Boy. That's another reason not to panic now. Galladay, I'll get it right, is proof players still take visits. Oh, yeah, exactly. That's, like I said, 4 o'clock is gone past, but like I said, it doesn't mean the free agency period is over. I mean, it's the big names are pretty much off the board, but that doesn't mean that there's not a lot of serviceable guys that we can use to fill spots still that will be just as good as the guys they paid a ton of money for.
Yeah, I mean, even with the offensive line, there's still good linemen out there. They're not the big names everybody's going to hear about, but the Bengals don't need to have big names to win games. They got to have somebody that's better than Fun Bobby Hart or
Fun Bag Bobby,
Funky Fred Johnson, or any of these guys. All we got to do is get some guys that are better than them, and Burrow will be okay. Then we bring in Sewell. But, that, and maybe another one after that, I don't know. But there's still some decent guys out there we can take that will play better than what we showed last year.
All right, Titus, because I know it's a non-football related, but y'all going to watch the Justice League Snyder cut tomorrow. I don't even know what you're talking about, Titus. Probably not.
Is that a comic book?
Yeah. If it's comic book or like superhero stuff, trust me, my wife loves that stuff.
Yeah.
Jeremy could care less about it. If that's what it is, then if I don't watch it tomorrow, I'm sure my wife will sit me down and we'll watch it together sometime. If that's what it is.
Hey, man.
But I appreciate you, brother, but I have no idea what it is. So I said, yeah, it is. It's a comic book thing. So there you go. So definitely, Jeremy would definitely not be watching it. He could care less about that stuff.
I
like the Avengers and I like stuff like that. I don't get into like the X-Men and all that stuff. I like the Avengers and I like Superman and I like that stuff. So
I like Iron Man. I liked Robert Downey and Iron Man. I thought that was pretty funny and action packed. But
you didn't get into the whole Avengers. I mean, I told you about WandaVision. I said, dude, if you like this stuff, that TV show, if you ever watch WandaVision, the first 2 episodes are ridiculously dumb. You're like, what in the world are you watching? So me and my wife started watching that. I'm like, dude, I'm not watching. This is stupid. She's like, let's skip to the 3rd or 4th episode, see what's going on. I'm like, and we started watching that. I'm like, what? Like, all right, we gotta go back and watch the beginning of it. Yeah. And then we got hooked and we watched it all the way through. So if you are a superhero comic book, Avengers, Marvel's fan, WandaVision, I recommend it. I give it 2 berries up.
Well, I heard that with that show, they had a little controversy. I don't know what it was. Have you heard anything like that? There something.
I think my wife read something that they thought there was going to be not necessarily a controversy, but there's going to be a special or a guest spot from Doctor Strange or something that was going to roll into the Doctor Strange movie or something like that.
Okay.
So,
okay. But I don't know Doctor Strange. I don't know that you walk in, you go to another portal, you go out of this outhouse.
That's the transfer portal. That's what all UC Bearcat students are using right now. They're all transferring out of here.
Looks like looks like one of those mobile outhouses. Yeah.
Right, exactly. All right, one more thing. Was the offensive line scheme bad or our players bad last year? Both.
Both.
It was all bad. None of it was good. It didn't work at all. All. Tommy. The death of Tony. Oh, Tony Stark changed my life. It hit me hard.
That's when I quit.
Tommy at all. Jeremy can feel you. Jeremy can totally feel you.
That's when I quit watching.
You didn't even watch. You're like, oh, I'm out. Tony Stark's dead. I'm done.
He's dead. No more Robert Downey. No more Jeremy Dane. That's it.
Jeremy stood up in the middle of the theater. I hate this movie. This sucks, and walked right out.
How can you kill somebody with that much money and all that equipment? No.
And he had a hot girlfriend too. I mean, come on, or a wife.
Come on now.
Gwyneth Paltrow. I mean, come on.
Red-headed delight.
Yeah, and she's blonde in the movie, but thanks for watching the movie.
Look, you may have seen the drapes, but I've seen the carpet.
All right, I see you. All right, getting some inside information here.
Yeah.
All right, Titus. So we're all worried about UC basketball, UC Bearcat basketball program. Why is everybody leaving? We want the best schools. I don't know why everybody's leaving, Titus. I would love to find out. I mean, I've texted a couple of my people that know more than I do, and I haven't got anything back. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they're leaving. The only thing I can think of is that there's really no freshman class coming in, which doesn't really scare me. I mean, it does, but it does with all the transfer portal that we have. I thought we'd keep the freshmen and the sophomores that we have, and we build from that. Now, Davenport tweeted out that, Bearcat country holds strong. We're going to be fine. So, we'll see. I mean, it might be Davenport and a whole bunch of scrubs, and who knows? Hopefully not. But I'm just honestly right now, I'm trying not to panic. I'm just chilling out. It's kind of like I am with the Bengals right now. Try not to panic. Just relax, see what happens, and hopefully they do what's best, and we have a good basketball team, and the Bengals, we have a really good offensive line. Oh yeah, thanks, Crown. Yeah, I forgot about that. I do have a Strawberry Ice March Madness bracket, which is on my Facebook page, probably down pretty far now. I probably should add that to the top. So, I'll try to. I'll post that as a. I guess, well, maybe not an announcement. I'll put it up higher so you guys can find it, or I'll post it in Bearcat Country and maybe Bearcat Nation, a couple of different Bearcat places in the Ohio State Bucknuts group. Try to get some people on there. But yeah, it's just a fun little thing. There's no money involved. We'll just see who does what, which I actually think it's going to be kind of hard this year. I know it's hard for me because I didn't get to watch. I watched not Bearcat. I watched college basketball, but nowhere close to what I did in the past. I mean, with the lack of team, being able to watch team, like the best team in college basketball, at least the number one ranked, is Gonzaga. I've never watched them play this year. So it's just gonna be hard, a tough one, an interesting one to try and pick. I know you filled one out there, dime bag.
Yeah, it's not easy, man. I mean, you even look at Illinois, being top 2. Buckeyes lost 2 out of 3. We beat them once. We could have beat them easily again. It's going to be a tough bracket because the Buckeyes can beat anybody on any given day, even without bigs. We don't have true bigs, but I can see them going far. I'm looking forward to watching the tournament. And, hey, man, who are you going to be pulling for? Are you going to be pulling for the Buckeyes in the tournament?
I'm going to pull for the Buckeyes, and I'm going to pull for Tommy's team, West Virginia, because of my main man, Hugs. So,
okay. I love Huggy Bear. So, Hugs. I'm down with that. Definitely.
That's my dude right there. That's who I wish was still our coach. But, it is what it is. But, yeah, that's who I'll be rooting for. And like I said, as far as Ohio State goes, it depends on the draw. But I think they got a shot. They could make it all the way to the Final Four. But they really have got to figure out how to defend and stop the big man from scoring on them. Illinois did it. That's why Illinois beat them. That's why they did beat Michigan, though. I will give them that. They beat Michigan. Yep. Excuse me. Sorry. Michigan, that team up north.
Yeah.
Sorry. They did beat them, so they've proven they can do it. They just got to do it on a consistent basis when they run into that.
Exactly. We beat Michigan, we beat Illinois, we beat all these top teams, but then we get beat by teams that shouldn't beat us. And being smarter with our shots, making better plays. Holtman, that goes to you. Too much dribbling, turning the ball over, which means when there's a lot of dribbling going on in a basketball game, the play is not developing the way it should be developing. And we've got a lot of turnaround, throw up, 3-pointers. That's no good. We've got to get that better. Got to make our free throws. Stop turning the ball over. Play tough defense beyond the arc. We played tough, even though we're smaller. We played pretty damn tough in the paint. Mm-hmm. But outside, too many wide open outside shots, mainly because we're missing a big man, and that hurts us. But I can see the Buckeyes going a long way. I'm excited about it, and hopefully Bucknuts will be excited about it, and we'll get everybody in Bucknuts a bracket to fill out for Sports with Strawberry Ice, and we'll have a ton of people, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I will you or I, one of us, will post it in all these groups. So, you guys can join it and try to get more people. Because, honestly, with everything that's going on with free agency and the Bengals, and since the tournament doesn't start officially till Friday, I've kind of not forgot about it, but it's kind of been on the back burner. So.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
All right, I think I'm ready to roll on out of here. How about you, Jeremy?
Ready to rock, bro.
All right. So I invite you guys to join these Facebook groups that let me live stream on them. I appreciate every single one of them. They're great groups. You got Who Dey Nation, Cincinnati Reds rounding third, heading for home, the Ohio State Bucknuts, Bearcat Country, the Ice Bar, which is our show page, silly TikToks, memes. Go to all these groups. They're great groups. Who Dey Nation has helped me out a lot just as far as boosting my page up and doing different things. So I really, really do appreciate what those guys do for me. Follow me on Facebook under Sports with Strawberry Ice. It's getting big. I'm surprised how many of you guys are following me, and I appreciate it. I have 767 followers. I have 720 likes. Again, hopefully I will get it figured out how to put it on the podcast again, but my wife just left. So if it's on the podcast, it's on BeanPod, Apple Podcast, Spotify. I got after this, so this will make my third one I have to put on there. I haven't done it yet. So, but when it gets on the podcast, make sure you guys rate, like, and review. YouTubers, my people, you guys are unbelievable. Yesterday's viewing of the show was ridiculous. That's the highest viewed show we've had on YouTube, on Facebook, anywhere. It is awesome. It was great. I appreciate you guys. So that's why I was really hoping the Bengals would do something today, because we get some more views, but that didn't happen. But YouTubers were at 864 subscribers. And other than that, Jeremy Dirt, you want to roll us on out of here?
I sure will, man. And I just want to say thank you again, too. Yesterday was last night was a huge show. And you guys showed up, which means you're out there. which means if we've got just 230 some people watching us only on YouTube, we've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds more.
And millions of the Strawberries fans. Oh, sorry.
I thought I was on TikTok.
My
Anyway, we've got, you could probably put it in the thousands, other people out there.
Put them all together yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. And we appreciate that. And you know what? If each of you would just invite one person to Sports with Strawberry Ice on YouTube, that would literally, 1,000 people, that would change our whole dynamic. There's a whole lot more stuff we could get done and do. And
the thing is, we're getting close to 1,000 get monetized, and we'll see what happens there. So
exactly. And that's when the interviews start rolling in. And Jeff's already done a great job having interviews on the show. And it's all free. If you're a Bengal fan, for free. If I'm sitting in your couch, I'm watching us because you're getting true sports and you're getting a little bit of entertainment at the same time.
They get to look at the moneymakers too. Hello here.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. So anyway,
get us the hell out of here.
As always, remember one thing and one thing only. And that is, you don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati, so act like it. Hoo-day. Come on, Bengals. Let's get some linemen.
Let's get some linemen because we don't want to see this guy again.
That they just had on the sideline. And they turned it that they just had on the sideline. And they turned it that they just had on the sideline. And they
Fun bag, Bobby.
Fun, Bobby.
And that's just sports, baby. See ya!